Hello, everyone. This is your local writer, poet, creative artist coming to you from home, or from the studio, if you will. Home meaning town, meaning region. We're located in the Catskills. I just recently put on some music to help lull us into the afternoon. I'm listening to peaceful inspirations, ambient music to draw, relax, and study on YouTube. It's by Valerie Lynn. So a little advertisement there. You don't want to not give people their credit where credit is due. I did promise you to go over some of the stories in here and perhaps read one to help inspire new readers or new artists. I will read you the table of contents. Our table of content. I don't know, content. Okay. It's a table. Anyway. Miss Twilligan's Schoolhouse, Fleroy's Big Adventures, Four Colorful Autumn Leaves, Morningside Goose Babies, Cries of the Rhino, Hayden's Thanksgiving Adventure. I should wear my glasses. Hope you don't mind. A little help with the computer and all the light around me. What the Fideckle? It's about a dinosaur with freckles. Gobbledygook. I didn't know it was a political term. The Extraordinary Chai Puppy Boy has to do with a Chihuahua who's a superhero boy, or a boy who's a superhero of a Chihuahua. He likes Chihuahuas, what can I tell you? Snappy Nappy Nap. It's about a turtle who likes to nap. Leafy, the sleepy sea slug. Didn't think there were slugs in the sea, but they're beautiful. Miss Murple's Purple Day. I think that's what it says. The Mooselet Ballad. It's about a baby moose and an older man. Gazelle Girl. As you can see, this has a lot to do with characters and a lot of animals and people who become animals, and animals that are people or who appear to be animals. I forget the term for it, but I guess it's more Grecian, animal-like. Children's literature has a lot of that. So let me see. It says, "Keep me on the path, humanity." And I'll read you just the cover. Draw a story. Family Fun Friendships. 14 Creative Travel Children's Stories. Alan Adrian Tompkins. These stories I have collected throughout my 20 to 30 years. And I put them in this book. It's a collection of books. And what I find is in the schools that at the end of the year, they give kids workbooks, or at least they did, to work on. Well, they're creative people, and there's disabled creative people who like to read or have to be read to, and they like to still create. I think that's where some intelligence lies, or there lies some intelligence. Anyway, may the gifts of creativity inspire us for a lifetime. So this is a big workbook, basically, for creativity. I tell you a little bit about it in the back. I give you extra pages to draw on, or have your children to draw on, or yourself. I did it this way because I'm not considered a traditional illustrator. I may draw an image for a cover of a book, or I may design a cover with some help, or get some help to design a cover. And that's what I do. But for this book, I gave it for every book beginning, I gave a picture. Black and white because it's cheaper. This book, I think, cost me to print $10 and something, but it costs on the open market about 29, I think $25 to $30. I've reduced it because it's not color. So you're welcome. Maybe I'll just go over the first story, which I had some problems with because I didn't know if I wanted to give more images. So I did. But I did also provide space for drawing. So it's like a sample, right? Mr. Willigan's Schoolhouse. For the nurturing of creative spirits inside of everyone. This story is dedicated to my teachers and friends. Sunlit fields, hearts take flight. Okay. Looks like there's a typo already. It has to do with the correction, I guess. I'll fix that later on. Miss Twiggly Wiggly weaves stories from pure delight. Ducks and giggles as the tale unfolds as Miss Twiggly Wiggly sorry, I haven't read this in a while. Unfolds as Miss Twiggly Wiggly treasures stories foretold to all. Miss Twiggly Wiggly, with long red hair, shares her ribbon letters and pictures to begin her story about Grandma Miss Twilligans. I thought it was about the teacher first. Love is stronger than distance sways. Miss Twilligans had been the nanny for the most welcomes children and inspired her granddaughter. Squirrels dance, papers afloat, Miss Twilligan's hush stories she wrote. And underneath I give little prompts. I'll read you one after I read this 6th chapter. A foxtail swirls, tails take wing as Miss Twilligan's voice is brought to sight. So draw Miss Twilligan's reading stories, her hair twirling like a foxtail. Threads of love weave tales anew, Miss Twiggly Wiggly, heart forever true. Warmed by the fire, evenings aglow, Miss Twiggly Wiggly's stories, hearts all known. Creatures' tales, laughter, sweet, Miss Twiggly Wiggly's world where young hearts meet. See, I'm repeating the name so kids get familiar with the sounds. Magic in her world, magic in her words, tales of hope, Miss Twiggly Wiggly stories open and close. There's also a meter and rhyme to this, but it's broken. So it with that juxtaposition, it also helps to continue the reader to draw. April strings and tales end as Miss Twilligan's warm hearts believe in magic. Almost there, folks. At the chalkboard, vest embrace Miss Twilligan's elegance, a story of grace. Wonder-stitched stories and dreams, Miss Twilligan's magic, more than they have been. Hair a twirl, delightful sight. Miss Twilligan's red furry hair took flight. Red hair bun, corky and true. Miss Twilligan's charm hearts anew. So what happened is that the kids call her Miss Wiggly Wiggly, but as we find out, her grandma's name is Miss Twilligans, and then we go into Miss Twilligans also. So we merge those names, and it teaches kids not to call teachers by nicknames, and also, nicknames are always fun to tease people with. In Women's Blend shout of glee, Miss Twilligans shares a family memory. With kindergarten wonders, a baby animal plays. Miss Twilligans was as bright as those days. From nature lessons, poems unfold. Miss Twilligan's love for young as old. Magic and wonder always take flight when she remembers Miss Twiggly Wiggly with pure delight. Now it brings it back to a little sense of humor that she used to call her grandma, and that she did it with a sense of endearment. So, goodbye, gently heart aglow, Miss Twiggly Wiggly, with love, you're most welcome. With bonds like imagination hue, Miss Twiggly Wiggly's love is just as true. And I'm going to just continue to read. Generations hence, tales gathered anew with Miss Twiggly Wiggly's magic, so true. Dreams take flight and hearts explore Miss Wiggles' stories forevermore. When the past is new, a teacher guides. Purity of heart, of parenthood, is never out of view. This is one I like. This is one I wrote, of course. The other one was inspired by the schoolhouses that are spread out throughout New York State. The old school one room schoolhouses. There are a few of them still standing, but most of them that I know of are occupied by people who may or may not have kept the interior the same. So that's why I did that one. And then I have Flearoy's Big Adventure. Flearoy's my dog, and so I gave him a big adventure. It may not be your big adventure, but it's his adventures. Every day is an adventure, believe me, or every instance is an adventure. So this is why I wrote it. Flearoy's Big Adventures. Flearoy's Big Adventures was tailored for sensory development in families of young adults with autism. 1. Meet Flearoy, the brave Chihuahua, with a cape ready for adventure. There's his cape, ready for adventure. There's his cape, right there. And I didn't put prompts here because you can draw your own. Excuse us, we have a commercial where this music is. Feel the soft grass under your feet as Flearoy enters the park. Watch trees sway with colorful kites dancing in the sky. When I was taking care of some autistic students, we used to go out for walks. And we never took off our shoes to feel the grass. However, we did sit in the grass at times. And felt the grass. Listen to the leaves rustling and birds chirping merrily. Discover fragrant roses and smell the sweet flowers with Flearoy. Flearoy's the superhero, but you're also the superhero of your own story. As we know, if you are trying to enjoy nature, Touch different texture stones as Fleroy explores. Feel a gentle breeze brushing Fleroy's fur, making him cozy. I see also, some little details which may help the reader also. With a name that is lowercase. The first Roy is lowercase there. Marvel at the nature's beauty with vibrant park scenes. Find comfort with all trees standing like friendly protectors. Don't you love standing by a tree like somebody you know or like a parent you have? Learn about the world through Fleroy's adventures. Okay, so that seems to be a constant there. Then I'm putting Fleroy with a lowercase r at the end in his name. Feel grateful as the sun sets, ending Fleroy's joyful day. Close the adventure, feel the adventure, feel content and excited for more. Recap Fleroy's thrilling day in a park. Encourage sensory experience by touching soft, rough textures. Explore sights, colorful trees, kites, and flowers in illustrations. Introduce park sounds. Leave rustling and birds chirping. Engage with senses. Roses and lavender emit their sweet smell or smells. Show textile explorations, touching stones and different surfaces. Depict a gentle breeze and warmth through park scenes. So enjoyment is part of this story. Illustrate nature's beauty and captivating, vibrant park visuals. So this is giving you also prompts after the story. So it's a different way of instructing. This way is more instructional. The other one was story, so that's more indirect as opposed to this being more direct. For some kids, it does help. Convey safety and confront with tree illustrations. So this isn't telling you to do an illustration, it's showing illustrations and then having the child create their own, or vice versa. Offer learning moments through Fleroy's discoveries. Okay, and also the discovery themselves could be the lower cap of Fleroy. Show gratitude with sunset scenes, signaling the adventure's end. Conclude with a happy Fleroy content and learning forever to move forward to and looking forward to more adventures. And then I'll do this last one. 4 colorful autumn leaves. I like this story because we don't get a lot of these stories, and if we do, we don't get them like this, and we don't enjoy them as much. So let me see if I can read it for all the autumn people. I like autumn. In New York, the leaves are so bright. Ruby, amber, rusty, and hazel take flight. Summer's gone, fall is here. Red, yellow, and orange leaves appear. And there they are right there in that story. You can't see them so much. But I will show you an illustration because I think that's only fair. There they are. There's the illustration. They're not in color, but you can create the same image in color on here. They dance and twirl in the breeze, blanketing the ground with pleasing colors. Winter comes and the snow's so grand, they watch children build a snowman band. Spring arrives, leaves unfurl, and new green leaves bring joy to the world. I just love this one. Through Yeah, senses. Through each season, they grow, discovering the wonders of Mother Nature's show. Their adventures, a treasure to find, cherishing moments, heart and mind. Your heart and mind, of course. With smiles wide, they play together in warm weather as kind friends. Seasons change and they sing along to harmonious songs. In New York State, their bond is so true, forever friends the whole year through. I just added that. And this is one I like to read, or I like to write, because we see these all around in where I live in the spring. And then I think it's May or April or even June, the mother goose will have her geese at this park that I go to and take the dog for a walk. It's Morningside Park in New York State, and I call it Morningside Goose Babies. They didn't endorse this, but I endorse them because it's a wonderful park for children and families who come and enjoy it for the camping and recreation. And well, they don't really have recreation so much. They have their families coming. They use the boats and the paddle boats and fishing and so forth like that. And they picnic there. But I don't think there's really crafts. But maybe with this book they would. So I call it Morningside Goose Babies because it's amazing to see the new little goslings, if you will. Not Ryan Gosling, but goslings. Anyway, just being funny. So this is a pre-K story. So you're going to hear a lot of sounds. And this is going to help bridge the gap and also bring joy to your life, I think. Because these stories are for 4 to 8 year old children, mostly, and even older. I like them. But illustration is important too, or coloring and activities. So here we go. Morningside Goose Babies. Fluff, twirl, papa, mama, nests. You can see this in my poetry too. Peek, eggs are in the nest. Rest. Quack, guard, stop, spot, love, evermore. Swoosh, seal, see, eagles soar. Giggle, guide, picnic, learn, together. Shush, soothe, fireworks, hugs, precious. Pitter, patter, huddle, rain, soft, little one. Or little ones, right? Wow, smile, rainbow, joy, cherish. And I also use the lower cap and the bigger cap of the beginning sounds to enunciate and dictate the sound for the reader. So if you have a new reader, they can mimic or repeat it. Snore, dreamy, stars, sleep tight. Stretch, I'm sorry. That was just me. Stretch, wake, day, rise. Hug, cuddle, hearts together. Forever. And this is about the white rhino, but I'll read that another time. Not bad for my writing debut of these children's stories. I hope you enjoyed. We did that for almost a half an hour. Oops, didn't want to make it that long. But I hope you enjoyed. And again, you can get this book on not Barnes & Noble. Most of my books are on Amazon.com, but some of them are Barnes & Noble. And I do poetry as well as these. With my graduate work, I did these. I think there's 5. Yeah, 5 novellas or novels. There's a whole argument about the German novel versus the contemporary novel. So I did that, and I hope you enjoyed. And keep on reading, keep on writing, keep on creating.